Shout out to the Cows gang. You already know who it is, Mr. Palmer, aka Boss Daddy. And we gotta talk about this situation right here. We gotta talk about Ayesha Howard. Now, Ayesha Howard, I believe, is 38 years old. She has a child with Lil Baby the rapper, but also she has a baby by NBA basketball player Anthony Edwards. And we're gonna talk about this because she just recently came out saying that Anthony Edwards is hiding money. And I know he is hiding money. He's trying not to pay the child support. Now, in 2025, April, right? Howard was granted temporary sole custody. Now, truthfully, Anthony Edwards don't want to have nothing to do with the child. Text message had came out last year that he wanted her to abort. Of course, she's not finna abort because this money in the bank, he's worth net, I believe, $40 million. Play for the Timberwolves. We know who he is. Now, be honest with you, when it comes to Ayesha Howard, I ain't never heard nothing about her except when Lil Baby got in the game. And, you know, I knew her as the baby mama. If anybody know more about her, she was doing stuff before then, she's a celebrity too, y'all let me know. So when it comes to this child support between her and Edwards, you know, she lives in California. And I guess he lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And they've been having this ongoing dispute, reporting that the case should be handled with California. And, you know, Edwards wanted in Georgia. But here's the thing, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna talk about that. But here's the thing, they've never been in a relationship. I guess they were just messing around. And Pop go to Weasel. Can I get that?
Pop go to Weasel.
Now, what's very interesting about this case, when it comes to her saying that he's hiding money, she is saying that, and I want to get this right, she's saying that the NBA star misrepresented his assets in earlier court proceedings to evade personal jurisdiction and child support obligations. And, you know, Howard alleges in a newly filed affidavit. So she filed again. She's trying to get that money. And she's saying that Edwards intentionally hid California-based asset to avoid child support obligations for the daughter, right? And she filed April 2026 that, you know, he misrepresented his financial ties, business presence in the state during earlier court proceedings to evade child support. So I guess when they passed, he didn't put out all his financial statements and stuff like that. They have a 5-month-old daughter, Aubrey Summers, together. And she said that he intentionally hid the money. And Ed was 24 years old. And the thing about it is, she tried to have this in Superior Court of Los Angeles County, right, back in April the 7th on a Tuesday. Basically, she's saying that he has multiple assets, including a business and a bank account in California. But my opinion is she's trying to get the gusto. She's trying to get everything she can. And it also seems like she's mad. You know what I'm saying? And fellas, let's talk about this. And even some sisters who can relate because they know their brothers, their fathers, or a friend or whoever, right? Or boyfriend or husband, right? Y'all know you have baby mama terrorists who use child support as a mechanism to hurt the man, to get all they can from that man. And it's not necessarily about him not wanting to be a father. In this case, Edwards didn't want the kid. He told her that. And even to this day, he really don't have nothing to do with the child. Now, reality is he's going to be put on child support. When I try to see, is he paying child support? They ain't saying. But here's the thing I want y'all to look at. He actually winning so far, and I'm gonna say why. This man filed before she filed. He filed in Georgia. And I know y'all like, how is it a win? Well, because in Georgia, there's a salary cap, just like Texas. And once you up to $40,000, that's the most they look at to take money from that man, right? Now, they do have some type of thing where they'll go up a little more because he's a high-profile celebrity making multiple streams of income, will make a lot of money.
It is what it is.
But California, they just go off Oh, you make $40 million? Oh, that's we're gonna go by both incomes, and this is what you're gonna get. Motherfucker around be paying her $75,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month. And that's just what it is. Plus, of course, get they piece of the action. And I want y'all to understand, by him filing first, California said we can't touch it.
You're goddamn right.
And so far, we already know he's gonna pay child support, especially if she got sole custody temporarily, whatever. He don't want to do with the child. But his goal is to get her less as possible. $5,000 in the blood and mouth, $10,000 in the blood and mouth, but it beats getting it in California. So what I want to do, I want to let this father's right attorney talk about that situation. But before I do that, I want y'all to understand that child support is a money grab. You can say what you want about, oh, it's to take care of the child and it's for deadbeats and all that shit. But if you really knew the true history about child support, you'll think different. But then again, in our society, it doesn't matter about right or wrong. It's about what benefits, these terrorists out here. Let's take a look.
Next, modification limits. A state cannot modify another state's order unless the original state loses CEJ, meaning everyone's moved away, or the parties give written consent to the new state. Why it matters in the Edwards case? In the battle between Georgia and California, the UIFSA is the reason the California judge ruled financial matters belong in Georgia. Because Edwards filed first in Georgia and maintains his residency there, Georgia likely holds CEJ, preventing California from setting a different and potentially much higher support amount based on California's specific high earner guidelines. Now, as I previously mentioned, in a significant win for Edwards, a California judge has already ruled that the child support case can't be set in California, effectively punting it to Georgia. Now, Howard is appealing this ruling. Now, this is potentially a huge win for Edwards, as Georgia is much friendlier on high-income parents. In California, they put your income in the child support calculator and they spits out a number. And then we can deviate from there, meaning we get a very large number and deviations must be argued. Now, to talk about Georgia child support laws, I brought in Atlanta family law attorney and founder Ed Hecht of Hecht Family Law. Now, Ed, can you tell us a little bit about how high-income child support is calculated in Georgia?
For parents with combined monthly income exceeding $40,000, Georgia law allows the court to apply a high-income deviation to child support. Now, this deviation is discretionary, meaning it's up to the court, and it's typically an upward adjustment to the amount of child support that the non-custodial parent has to pay. Now, the reason that this deviation even exists is because Georgia's child support calculator caps out at $40,000 a month in combined income, since there aren't many couples who earn more than that. But in high-income cases like a celebrity, or in this case, a highly paid basketball player, the court can apply an upward deviation to make sure that the child support amount that is to be paid is fair, reasonable, and appropriate for the parent's actual financial circumstances.
Now, what could Edwards and Howard expect in Georgia?
So I think several things are going to happen here, actually. First, I would expect that the courts are going to apply the maximum payment from the child support schedule. Then they're going to adjust upwards for Edwards' income, given his significant earning power. But I would also expect that his attorneys will attempt to sway the judge to not apply a deviation. But given his income, I think it would be hard to convince the judge to not apply some kind of an upward deviation. So yeah, he'll probably end up paying more than the standard number that kicks out of the child support calculator.
Thanks, Ed.
Now, I want y'all to understand that, by him having it in Georgia, he'll be paying less money. Even if it's $10,000, $15,000, $5,000 of blood in the mouth, that's a win for him. Because in California, it don't matter how much you make. New York, don't matter how much you make. Chicago, no matter how much you make. Florida, and so on, so many states. And I want you to understand that the surprising part is, seems like this dude is gonna come out kind of scot-free. Most dudes don't come out like this. But the smartest thing he did was file first. Because he wouldn't have filed first, she would have got California. I know baby mama Terrence who will move to California, move to Florida, move to New York. So child support could be 21 years instead of 18 and more money.
The shit.
Now here is my opinion when it comes to Ms. Howard and other women. Why do y'all continue to allow men to shoot up the club that do not want to have kids with you or have kids at all. Why do y'all choose single motherism? This is why I say most of them choose single motherism. No relationship, not married, not planned. Y'all do this because they got money, because they look good. You want to have a mixed baby. You pretty eyes. You want to have some type of attachment.
You big dummy.
You know what I'm saying? And you get him a child support. You get your money. Then you get mad because he's still not in the picture. So now you want to call him a deadbeat, a lowlife, and all this. You want to whine and cry. Your fault. Now to you dudes out here, especially dudes who got money, something to lose, celebrity, making $40 million, $30 million, $100 million. Why do y'all put yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in? Why do you continue to knock up clubs, and then when they get pregnant, now you want to run off to the sunset talking about some I don't want nothing to do with the kid. Now I get it. You got money. Some dudes don't care. I just pay the child support. But you got brothers out here that don't want to be on child support, and they know it's going to hurt their pockets because they might make $150,000, but they got to pay $3,000, $4,000 in child support. And now you want to cry after the fact because this trying to take you to the river. Protect your assets at all costs. But I will say this: shout out to my man Anthony Edwards for not having all his money under Social Security, having his money in LLCs and business accounts, and probably having it in his mama and daddy name and like that. That's what you do, man. You have your money outside of your Social Security. And those don't know, look the shit up, because it will save you a lot of money going to this unjust system of child support and family court. $56 billion a year business, or racket, I call it. So I gotta know, Couch Gang, what are your thoughts about this? When it comes to 38-year-old Miss Ayesha Howard, I got to know, she a victim or volunteer? Better sell dope